Peter was a young man in his mid-20s who had always been shy and introverted. He had always struggled to form romantic relationships and often found himself daydreaming about his crushes and romantic fantasies. However, as he grew older, these fantasies began to take on a life of their own, and he found himself increasingly convinced that one of his crushes was in love with him. At first, Peter's beliefs were harmless enough. He would spend hours poring over the social media profiles of his crush, imagining conversations they might have and dreaming up scenarios in which they would eventually become a couple. He was convinced that they were meant to be together and that she was just waiting for him to make a move. But as time went on, Peter's fantasies became more and more consuming. He began to see signs of his crush's love for him everywhere, in everything from the lyrics of songs on the radio to the color of the sky at sunset. He began to believe that they were meant to be together and that they were bound by a love that transcended time and space. It wasn't long before Peter's obsession with his crush began to take a dark turn. He started showing up at her workplace, hoping to catch a glimpse of her or start a conversation. He would wait outside her apartment building for hours on end, hoping to see her coming or going. He even started sending her gifts and letters, despite the fact that she had never expressed any interest in him. Eventually, Peter's behavior became so alarming that his crush went to the police, who referred her to a mental health professional. It was then that Peter was diagnosed with erotomania, a rare and complex mental disorder characterized by a delusional belief that someone is in love with you. Peter's diagnosis was a shock to him, but it also gave him a sense of relief. For the first time in his life, he had a name for the thoughts and feelings that had been tormenting him for years. He began seeing a therapist who specialized in treating erotomania, and slowly but surely, he started to make progress. The therapy was not easy, and Peter had to confront many painful truths about himself and his condition. He had to come to terms with the fact that his crush was not in love with him and that his fantasies were just that, fantasies. He had to learn to control his impulses and manage his feelings of anger and frustration when things didn't go his way. But as time went on, Peter's therapy began to pay off. He started to see the world more clearly and to develop healthier ways of coping with his emotions. He made friends and joined clubs and organizations that gave him a sense of purpose and belonging. And while he still struggled with his delusions from time to time, he knew that he had the tools and support he needed to keep them in check. In the end, Peter's journey with erotomania taught him a valuable lesson about love and relationships. He learned that love cannot be forced or manipulated, and that it is important to respect the boundaries and feelings of others. He learned that it is okay to have feelings of infatuation or attraction, but that it is important to keep them in perspective and not let them consume you. And most importantly, he learned that with the right treatment and support, even the most complex and challenging mental disorders can be managed and overcome.